Well, we can get started. We're a minute past. So if you joined after I did the informal welcome, thank you all for joining the call today. We've got Josh from Bar Agency. He's going to be giving some awesome knowledge and value today. He's going to be showing you how to build and automate your custom field dates and follow-up boss and transition those to the calendar. So before Josh dives in, just make sure if you want to be building alongside of Josh live, might as well make full use of this hour you're already setting aside and not have to watch the replay to build it afterward. Make sure you have both Follow Boss open and logged in and Zapier open and logged in because he'll be walking us through that. But if you can't, no worries, it's being recorded and we'll send the recording out to everyone as well. So, Josh, with that said, okay, let me ask in the chat. Does anyone not know what a custom field date is in Follow Boss? If not, I can show that really quickly. Or are y'all using custom field dates? Please show. Okay, I'll show really fast. It's let's go make sure. Okay, so first of all, you can only like create and edit custom fields if you're the owner of the Follow Boss account. You can still see them, but you can't edit them or add new ones. Um, and Josh, do you mind enabling screen share? I think you're the host, so I need to be able to share
Yep.
screen to show this. Cool. All right. So in Follow Boss, and let me zoom in a little bit here. From the owner account, in order to create or use custom fields to be a date, you go to admin custom fields. We have 78 already, a mix of some that are dates and some that are not. Like we track when someone has an appointment with us virtually, but in order to add one, if you don't currently track dates, or if you want to create new dates, and Josh will be sharing some use cases, I'm sure throughout the conversation, you'll get some other ideas. You click add custom field here, and you can call it whatever you like. Um, like earnest money deadline, something like that. Um, and make the type be a date. That's how you'll be able to track this in Follow Boss and ultimately put this in your Google Calendar or Outlook calendar for the part two that we'll do. And Josh, I guess this question is better for you. Like if someone wants to track like anniversaries or birthdays, in order for your what you're showing to work, do we need to check the box occurs every year if it's something that does occur every year?
Yeah, that is helpful. Just because as it like in Follow Boss, as it goes past that date, like it'll reset the date for the next year.
Okay.
When it's coming up rather than that it already happened. So yeah, things that are recurring, you definitely want to check that.
Yeah, so like the most basic I can think of is a birthday. I think when you sign up for Follow Boss, you're given a birthday custom field by default. You can just do like the keyboard shortcut, Control F, or just right click and is there a right click find? I don't know if there is, but there isn't. There's three dots for find to see if you already have a birthday. But that's how you create a custom field. And then once you have it created, you'll see it in a person's profile to be able to add a date. We have a lot. So, but if I wanted to set, I don't remember which ones are dates. Like this, once you're ready to set a date for someone, you just click the box to select the date. And then Josh is going to show how to show it in the calendar. Um, Hopefully I didn't go too fast, but feel free to ask clarifying questions in the chat. And while Josh is doing his teaching, I'm happy to clarify any questions that come in.
Awesome. Thanks, Lena. I'll get right into it here. Again, I'm Josh Freed. I'm the principal of real estate over at Bar Agency. So what I'm going to be teaching today is really the basics of this kind of thing, right? Like being able, this is something that you'll be able to build out yourself inside of Zapier. Now, there are a couple other, like there might be some edge cases for you guys where you see the way that I'm doing it and you can immediately think of, oh, like maybe that doesn't work for me because of X, Y, or Z. And I want to take those questions at the end. But I did want to make this like the demonstration essentially to be something that is what you can do at home, like in Zapier, and you don't need any development power, like setting up webhooks. You can just do it all with the stuff that's built into Zapier through Follow Boss and Google Calendar specifically. So without further ado here, let me get right in. So there's a couple schools of thought here, and a lot of this has to do with the way that your systems.
ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੀ ਪਈ?
Oh,
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੋਲਦੀ ਪਈ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੀ ਪਈ?
mute them real
You
quick.
need to mute everybody.
Yeah. Mute all. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So again, like how you're doing this is based on your system inside of Follow Boss. It can be as simple as this, depending on how many dates that you have that you actually want to send over. Inside of FUB, inside of Zapier, they'll have these Follow Boss built-in triggers, right? And so the two that we're going to focus on today for the easy one are person stage updated and tag added to contact, right? These are the two easiest ways to automate the dates to send over to Google Calendars. And so the first one, person stage updated, you can have multiple dates like this. Like Alina was talking earlier about like earnest money date. You can have those different transaction dates at the different times, right? So if you're signing a listing and you know there's going to be a sign install date, for example, or an MLS live date, and you want to see that in your Google Calendar, that's where you would select these stage names to be able to actually trigger at that time. So we'll go set up here. Actually, let's start from the beginning here. So you're going to be selecting the app. So inside of Zapier, you're going to look up Follow Boss on this step. So everybody there. And then in here in these trigger events, you're going to
And Josh, before you continue, do you mind showing well, first, you can either just like, I don't know, virtually raise your hand or say in the chat, whenever you clicked Follow Boss, did it automatically?
Oh,
Sorry, did it automatically select your account like you see here on the right hand side? Like he selected Follow Boss and it just shows Justin's Follow Boss account. If it did not do that for you, just type no, and then Josh can show you how to connect Follow Boss if you've never done this before. Okay, no one's saying no. Well, if you click Follow Boss, okay, Dave says no. So I don't know, is there a way you can like, okay,
Yep.
yeah, click change, and then there's probably.
So once you get to this step, and again, if you're inside of Zapier, you're going to have to create a new Zap, which you just like, there's a big orange plus button at the beginning here to do that right here, create. And you're going to go to create Zaps, right? Which will take you to this blank one. I'm just going to start from the beginning here instead of having my other ones up. So first step is to click into the trigger, type in Follow Boss. And then this is where it's going to allow you on the right-hand side, it's going to allow you to put in all of the specifications, right? So the first thing is the account. And if your account isn't set up yet, you won't see any existing accounts. You'll just have to go here to connect new account. Okay, and it'll take you here to your API key. Okay.
How do I know if it's connected to my account and not my assistant?
So it's your assistant's account. Does your assistant have their own Follow Boss account, or do they also use your account?
Dave, are you there? Can you unmute?
See, when I clicked on the Follow Up Boss selection, it didn't identify it. It just put it there.
Didn't identify whose account it is?
I didn't see anything to identify it.
Okay. We still need to get the API key from your account. So as long as you're signed into do you see my Follow Up Boss right here?
Yeah.
So inside here, this is where you're going to get your API key. So up here, make sure that you're signed into your account and not your assistant's account.
Right, I'm signed in as me.
Okay. And then you're going to come into admin here.
Mhm.
And then more API. And then you're going to see all these API keys.
Okay, and I see two named Zapier.
Yep. You're just going to create a new one. Okay. And so since I'm sharing my screen and I don't necessarily want to show my API key to a group of 50 people, I'm just going to type in test here. And then once you have the name of your key, you can just name it something like Zapier date sync or Google Calendar date sync, whatever you want to name it. You're going to press create API key. And then what's going to show up is a long string of letters and numbers that seems completely random. And so once you see that, you're going to go ahead and press copy on that. And then once you've copied it, we can go back here and we're going to paste that right here in the API key. And then yes, continue to follow, boss. And once you've done that, it should connect to your account the same way that it connects here to Justin's account. If anybody's having any issues with this, just let me know in the chat. I promise you guys, this is like the hardest part. This whole thing is understanding API keys.
So I'm not getting the place to paste the API key.
Did you
Is
go,
that possibly because I'm already linked?
did you press connect a new account over here on account?
No, because I'm not seeing that either. Follow up boss. Account select. Okay, connect a new account.
It should bring up your API key. Okay,
Yeah, it looks like it's loading it.
perfect. And then the next step there is going to be selecting that person stage update, right? So that's going to be your trigger, is when a person in follow-up boss's stage has been updated. Okay, so follow boss app, trigger event is person stage updated, and then make sure your account's connected. It won't let you continue if it's not connected. So this next step won't be able to work for you, but go continue here. And then you're going to select the stage name. So this is where it's completely up to you what dates you want sending at what stage. Again, it depends what kind of dates you want to remember for each client. Obviously, we don't want to remember if you have a database full of 50,000 people, you don't want every lead's birthday in your calendar. That would not be ideal. So if you want it to be, a lot of people just want to know their closed clients' birthdays. Some people only want to know the birthdays of the clients that they've actually gone active with. So clients that they've shown houses to before or sold listings for. Some people only want it when they go pending. Just depends what you want and what dates you are having, right? So in this case, we'll select active client.
Josh, is there an option to select multiple stages if you want to track like current clients and past clients and sphere perhaps? Or do you have to set up a Zap for each one?
You would have to set up a Zap for each one.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely not ideal. But what it does allow you to do is select the dates that you want for each stage, instead of just having all the dates send for one stage. So for example, like if they do go under contract and there's certain transaction dates that you want to track for them, that is what's going to essentially trigger that.
And to clarify, do you need to have the dates in place in the custom fields before you change the stage in Follow Boss?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And again, that might not work for everybody. So we'll go over questions at the end here and see if we can talk about specific edge cases. But once you have this configured with the stage name, you're going to test, and there's going to be, I assume that you have somebody in that stage that's going to pull up, right? So you'll have a contact that shows up here. And it's going to have, you'll see all these fields. Don't be intimidated by all this developer looking stuff. It'll come in handy later. And so the next step to make sure that we don't have a ton of duplicates inside of your calendar is to go to Google Calendar. So again, we're selecting the action down there, and we're looking up, it's usually right here at the top, Google Calendar. And then we're going to, again, do the same thing to connect a new account, but this time it'll just ask you to sign into your Google account rather than have an API key.
Hannah's asking, what if you have a team account? So like multiple agent calendars to push to, and like probably even checking who's the assigned agent is, who will get the event on their calendar.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get into that once we actually create the calendar event. It just depends what calendar you're looking at. So Hannah, if you have a team calendar, you can search the whole team calendar for those events to make sure that it doesn't already exist. And then you can decide, use the filter from there to see if you want to make that date inside of your calendar or not. And so once we're signed into our account, we're going to go to find events. And so right here is where you're selecting that calendar that you want to look at. You can see like you probably have a lot of different calendars. Your personal one, you're working with the team, you're going to want to have the team one that has all of your agents on it. But for this specific one, I'm just going to use my personal one. And then there's a ton of different options in here. The most important one is the search term. So this will come later once we are understanding how we're actually creating the events on the calendar. But the search term for this one is going to be Baratest birthday. So however you're naming it when you create it, which we will do at the end here, that'll be the last step, is actually creating the account, or excuse me, not the account, but the event. And so you're just going to look for this person's name. So we're going to press this. Sorry, I went a little too fast there. I'm going to try that again. Press this plus sign. And then you'll have the name from step one. It'll show you the name right here. And it will be that person's name and then the event that you're looking for. Birthday. Okay. So then from here, make sure that successful if no search results are found is true. Because if you have this as false, then every time that you want to create like that, it can't find that date, it's just going to fail instead of moving on to the next step to create the date. Okay. And so from here, any questions on this step on finding the events? Awesome.
Not here. It seems crystal clear, but feel free to post questions in the chat. Josh, you kept referring to whenever Hannah asked about team accounts, you kept referring to the calendar as a team calendar. What if a team doesn't have like a shared team calendar and everyone just has their own individual ones? Would you have to create like pathways then?
You would need to create a team calendar and invite everybody to it within Google, which is pretty easy to do as long as you're all in the same Google workspace, which if you're running a team, you really should be, just so you have their own emails that say like at keytechnologysolutions.com, right?
I've never known such a thing exists. I'm sorry to go off of the designated path, but how do you create a team calendar?
Yeah, totally. That would be inside of Google Workspace. I can make a little video on how to create a team calendar and send it.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, and
little,
just set it with the recording.
yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah, but that's a great question, because if you don't have a team calendar, then this won't work for your team. It'll just work for an individual agent basis. Okay, so we'll continue here. And so if this term bar test birthday, or Alina Key birthday, or Josh Freed birthday, right? It depends on who the lead's first name or full name is, and then their birthday. And you can change it up depending on what date you're looking for, which you're going to create at the end here. So I have bar test birthday in my calendar. So when I search it, it says status confirmed. So considering that this date already exists in my calendar, I already have this person's birthday in my calendar. Now we know not to create a duplicate of that inside of our system. And the way that we're going to indicate that to the system is by the next step, going to filter.
How does it know that it's the same person? Like, how would you know it's Elena's birthday already on the calendar? Is it because it's looking for the person's name?
Yeah, it'll say I have this. So when we're actually creating the event at the end, Alina, this is how it'll be set up: is the lead's name and then birthday, right?
Okay.
The
So
lead's
it's
name.
searching the calendar for the person's name to see if it
Yep.
already exists. And then what you're doing is just ensuring that if it does, you're not accidentally creating like two birthday events on your calendar for Elena.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll have their name as the indicator there. That's a great question, though. Thank you. Okay, and so for this, since we want it to move on, what we'll do is we'll just do Josh birthday. Hopefully that's not in my calendar. Be a little vain to have my own birthday in my calendar. We'll go continue, retest step. I'm not, oh, I gotta send it through. Sorry. Continue. Sure why this isn't sending through here. One sec. Refresh the fields.
The joys of technology when you're doing it live.
All right, super fun. Okay, it's still pulling up as this one. So let's do oh, I don't know. Zoom test. See if that one goes through. There we go. Okay. All right, so now that it failed to find an event, we have need to find something that, oh, it's nothing could be found for the search. Oh, I told you guys to keep this true and I didn't even do it myself.
Yeah, that's what Andrew just said.
Thanks, Andrew. All right, let's try that again here. There we go. Perfect. So the Zap search was found as false. And so inside here, now we have this to, we'll say, type in search. And if the Zap search was found exactly matches false, that means that it did not find the date in the calendar, which means that it will go through, right? I know there's a lot of true false Boolean logic there.
Now, if someone's like 99% confident to 100% confident they don't have anyone's birthdays in their calendar, they could skip these two steps, right?
Yes, they could. And we'll get into that a little later, like it kind of goes into system dynamics a little bit, because if you have, say, this setup, and then you also have the lead tag also triggering this, then if it hits the active client stage and then it gets tagged somehow later, you still want it to check. right? Just to
Oh, because it's gonna try to it'll recreate every time.
exactly.
Okay.
And so that's the reason we always put the filter in, just to make sure. And so to test this, we'll go continue, and you'll see your Zap would have continued this test, which is great. And so if you have multiple dates that you want to send through these filters, you have to set up a find event for each one. So you'll replicate this for each event that you're looking for. So whether that be birthday, anniversary, listing live date, right? Anything that's important in that regard. So
So would you just click the plus button and add it with you don't have to create a brand new Zap. You can just click the plus button and say, okay, we're checking for birthdays, we're checking for anniversaries, we're checking for closing date, whatever it is. And you can just keep adding.
yep. And so
Okay.
you add the find events Google Calendar in here. So you just add another one. And then if you need another one, you just add another one. Just depends on how many dates that you're trying to add at the end here. And so I'm just going to create the birthday one, but it's the same thing in the filter. So if you have 3 dates that you're looking for to see if you can create and won't duplicate, then you're also going to have 3 branch logic steps in the filter, right? So you'll have for step 2, and then if you have another find events, it'll also be step 3 in here that you're pulling specifically from each one of these fields. And you just make sure that you press and exactly matches Zap search was found false. Any questions here?
I have one more question.
Yeah.
With if you select and, what if like you have someone's birthday but not anniversary? So if you select and, does that mean it just prevents the whole thing from going through?
Yes, that would, if it has the and. And so that's again like another piece of the system dynamics, right? If this is the only thing that's creating your dates in the system, then if it got to this point, then it would create birthday and anniversary at the same time. So without one, it wouldn't have the other, if that makes sense. But if that's not always the case, you can do the or as well.
Yeah, I was about to ask, could you do the or?
Or
Okay.
you can just do you can do filter condition, like one event, one filter condition, and then create the event if it keeps going through, or you can create paths. We can get into like the specifics of it. This is like the bare bones, easiest one here.
Yeah. Okay. So to recap what you've done so far,
Yep.
In case anyone missed it, plus it's recorded, so you can catch the recording. Step 1 is you connected your Follow Boss account and you selected some type of trigger. Like there has to be something to tell Zapier, let's push this date over to Google Calendar. And adding a date to a custom field is not it. So in this use case, you're saying when you change the stage to a specific stage of your liking, then that's going to search for the custom field dates. So best practice is add the dates to the custom fields first before you change the stage, or else it's not going to work, or you need to redo the stage change. And then step 2, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just agreeing.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. And then step 2 is you're making sure it does not already exist in your calendar. Because if it does, you don't want 2 or 3 events on your calendar for the same person for the same event. Like you don't want 3 Elena birthdays. So you're searching to see if it's not there. If it's not there, then step 3 is you said, okay, we're going to check. Did it say it's there or not there? And if it's not there, then we are going to add it. Did I get that all right? Did I follow along correctly?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay. Gabriel is asking, does the action happen for any kind of stage change trigger? So Gabriel, at the beginning, I'm not sure if you showed up a little bit late. Josh selected the exact stage he wanted to have this trigger. So it's just one, you can only choose one stage. So in this instance, he chose active client to be the trigger, but you can choose whatever you want, but it can't be any stage unless you create one Zap for every single stage. It's one stage per Zap.
Yep.
Andrew asks, does this require one person per contact record? So it won't work if there's like a custom field birthday for Mary and then a custom field birthday for Bob, like spouse profiles, and you have both custom fields.
Yeah, that's when you get into more custom build outs. Again, reach out to me if you want like a more specific use case. I would love to meet with you guys and talk through how you can set that up for yourself, or if we can help set that up. But once you get into having two birthdays, like one for like a husband and wife situation or whatever else the case may be, that's when you have to use the relationship field, right? Because in FUB, I'm sure you guys are all aware of this, since you've been using FUB, but you have these relationships here, which is it's a related object to the main lead, but it is a separate object. So that needs an entire poll from itself to understand what the relationship is. You can't just get that from these built-in ones. So that would take like a custom build out essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Josh, before you continue, while I have
Yeah.
everyone here, can I take over screen share really fast?
Cool.
Share. In case y'all weren't aware, Josh is gonna be one of the speakers, as it just so happens, but we're having a version of this that lasts all day so that you'll build alongside of people like Josh and Julia from the Lawton team and Jeremy Wilson from Chuck Down Homes and us at Real Estate Collective. We're going to be showing like some use cases we've been learning for AI and doing an AI architect. So it's all day and it's in person in Las Vegas. If you scan this pink QR code, you'll be taken to the page. We're actually, if you're watching this live, you probably have already passed this if you're not watching it live. If you're watching it live, we're doing a flash sale today, Thursday, October 30th. If you use the code flash sale in all caps, you'll get 30% off your ticket instead of the regular price. So I wanted to mention that, but it's all day 9 to 5 and really looking forward to it. It's like build sessions. So Josh is going to be teaching on how to automate the onboarding process for adding agents to your team. Julia is going to be talking about how she's created an automated, using Zapier again, how to create an automated showing feedback request so that they don't have to have an assistant manually asking each agent who shows their properties, what did the client think? It's just completely automated. And then Jeremy's teaching on like how he does his outbound referral system. They do 1,000 transactions a year just from outbound referrals, and he'll just be able to recreate what he's built. So all really good stuff. Each session's like a super deep dive, like this one, like at least 45 minutes per session so that there's enough time to do builds. But it's in person. So like this, there's only so much interpersonal communication you can do versus in person. It's so much different. So if you're not going, please do. It's really fun. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Keep going, Josh.
No worries. I'm super excited about that, Alina. I'll be speaking there about some recruiting and onboarding stuff. So be happy to share more of this nerdy knowledge with you guys. All right, so let's get back in there. Okay, like Alina reviewed, we have our trigger. We have the Google Calendar step that's looking for the date. We have our filter step that's making sure that the date doesn't already exist. And now we get to do the very fun part of actually creating the date in our calendar, right? So same thing, we're going to be looking for the Google Calendar app again. So for this action will be the same Google Calendar app. Again, make sure it should automatically connect you now since you've already signed into your Google with the other one. But now you're going to look through the actions and you are going to create a detailed event. Okay. And so we'll hit continue here. So again, you're going to select the calendar that you want this to be created on. So again, we want to make sure that these calendars match in step 2 and step 4 here. I want to make sure that they match. Don't worry about a summary or a description or location. You don't need to add any conferencing, but right here, when you see these orange stars here, that means that it is required. So what we'll want to do for this is when the dates, the custom dates that Alina showed you earlier how to create, will come in handy. So right in here, we'll go click on step 1 and we can type in, let's see, ChatGPT already wants it on there for me, birthday. And you'll see it'll say custom birthday, or if it's an anniversary, it'll say custom anniversary. Whatever you named the custom field, it's going to say custom, whatever that is. So, and then that's the date that we are going to use to put in as the start and the end time. So we're going to say the same thing on the end date and time here.
Can you select, like, let's say someone says, I always want to see birthdays at like 5 a.m. so it doesn't clog up my real schedule. Can you add in like I wanted to show up on that day at 5 a.m. on my calendar?
Oh yeah, totally. So in that case, you would just add like, I think it would just be 5 a.m. here at the end. So then it would have the date and then what time that it's going to show up at the end. You might have to play around with that a little bit. I've been doing it from a standpoint of just doing it all day, so it shows up at like the top.
Oh, okay, good point.
But if you want, if that's what your preference is, then you can definitely put the time in as well. The repeat frequency, so it's going to be a birthday, right? So it's every single year. So we're going to go repeat frequency is yearly, and then repeat every X years. So in here, you're just going to say 1. Repeat every 1 year. And then don't worry about repeat until. It's just going to repeat until forever. It's going to repeat unlimited amount of times. And then, like I said before, this is going to be an all-day event. If it's not, if you want it to be at a specific time, then you're going to select no here. But my personal preference is to have it as an all-day event, just so I can see it. Like it's going to be all day. You don't just celebrate early, but it's up to you. You can add a color here if you want. If you have like birthdays as a specific color on your calendar, you don't need any attendees, and the visibility will just be your calendar default. So if you have your calendar as private, then it'll be private. But if for whatever reason you have a public calendar, you can do that too. If you have reminders set up for your calendar in itself, this will just default reminder. So if you have, say, a 5 minutes before, right? Like even when we scheduled this event, like if it pings you every time 5 or 10 minutes before, that's what that means. It's the default reminder of like whatever you have set up in the system is going to apply here. But if you want to make it more specific to where you can get an email, 15 minutes before the day, so you can wake up to that email in the morning, understanding whose birthday it is. You could put that in there as well. And then this one's important because you want to make sure that you show up as free. You don't want to have your calendar stuffed up for an entire day just because it's someone's birthday. That's even if maybe if they're special enough, I don't know. Guests can modify the event. We'll go no. And then you can just keep the standard event type here. And then once we test the step here, it's going to create on our calendar. So we'll see that it was created today. The status is confirmed. Did we put a name on this? Did I miss the name? I got too excited here. So summary of the new event. So this is, I think this one that you want to put in, sorry about that. The actual name of the event right here, which again, this needs to be the same naming convention that you have looking for over here. So you're searching for the term, sorry, that was the one to make it go through. We're searching for the term name, birthday. So Lena Key birthday or Josh Freed birthday. So that's the one that we need to create so that later, if this happens again and it is looking for that date, it can find it. And it just shows up properly and we can see it on the calendar. So we'll do name, birthday. Then continue, retest step.
While you're testing, I think the answer is yes. You showed a reminder 15 minutes before. Can you do like a day before or days before?
Totally. Reminder email. So it only lets you do it in minutes here. So like a day before. Oh my goodness.
Would you calculate like 60 times 24 for
Yeah.
24 hours before?
So 1,440 minutes. So I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but whenever it's just going to trigger like right before midnight, pretty much, to let you know. So whenever you want that to happen, 24 hours would be at midnight the night before. So that might not be ideal as well. But you can also do a pop-up to show you. So like instead of an email, it'll just show as a pop-up like in the corner of your screen. Or however else you have. I don't know how in depth a lot of you use Google Calendar. And then yeah, those are the two options there. And so if you're using a team account and say this is something like a specific agent's client, that's where these attendees would come in, right? So say you have a team account, this isn't your personal account, you have the team account, which again, I'll send I'll send a video on how to create those team accounts for your team as well. So then everybody can see it. But you'll just add an attendee to this, which would be your agent. So in this step, you would just go press the plus sign out here, look over here and look for, we can even just search up agent, oops, maybe assigned user.
I think it's at the top, just assigned to if you're trying to pull the agent name.
Yeah, we would need their email in here, which I don't know if it has it in the. It doesn't have the agent's email in this list here. So then we would need to add another step underneath here.
As like a condition or filter.
Not a condition or a filter, but it would need to, we'd need to find a specific agent. To have their email.
And you can just like you're recording the video for the other thing,
Yeah,
you can record a video this for this once you figure that out.
Yeah, that's perfect. Again, this is the very like this most broken down version that I could fit into 45 minutes. And so these are essentially the building blocks. Only you really understand your system. So how you use these building blocks to put your system together so it's actually a workflow that works for you is completely up to you. Again, you can ask me questions, you can ask Alina questions, and if Alina doesn't know or I don't know, I can ask Alina and Alina can ask me. So it's a perfect little environment here. And so yeah, I guess just open it up for questions. I guess Alina, let's start with you from an operational standpoint inside of Follow Up Boss. Do you have any call outs here, or any questions about how any of this works, or things that you think are important enough to share additionally?
Yeah, I just wanted to call out the other tab that you had shown towards the beginning of the call. If for whatever reason you don't want the stage to be the trigger, you rather like trigger based off of a tag, you can do that instead. Like Josh's example is he created a tag dates to calendar. So the step one would be you add the dates to the custom field or fields in Follow Up Boss, and then add the tag, whatever it is you would like. This is just an example, like dates to calendar. If you would rather use a tag instead of a stage.
And this tag one too, having these working, having the person stage update and the tagged lead working in tandem, this would help with any leads that you already have. Say you are working in the active client stage. you're already going to have a ton of leads in your system that are either active clients or past active clients. And so having the tag in there helps with that, because then you can go in here. And again, Alina can help you guys on some smart list stuff as well. But you can create a smart list to say, I want everybody that's in the stage of active client, pending, and closed, right? And then you can mass tag those people. So we'll do that. I don't know how many my sandbox account actually has in here. Pending and closed. Okay, 2. So that's awesome. But nonetheless, we can show it off. So you would select here and then add tags, and then send to calendar or whatever the tag is. I think it was dates to calendar. And then you would add the tags.
Yeah, so you can do it in bulk, like you're probably wondering as we're doing this webinar, you say, well, I already have all of these people with custom field dates. Like I already have past clients, so I wouldn't be changing the stage for those existing 200 past clients. Then you could make the trigger a tag, and then you can bulk apply that tag to those leads. And with that one bulk apply tag, you can retroactively add all those people to your calendar from Zapier. Earlier, someone had also asked, can you pull deal custom field dates to this, or does it only work with regular custom fields?
That is a good question. Let's do some experimenting here. So they do have a deal stage updated as well. And so if we take it from, come on, buyers, when it hits the buyer under contract, or that's the only thing with these ones is you'll have to set up quite a few of these if you're doing deals, because then it even goes even further to split it between sellers and buyers. But we'll just do buyer contract here. See if we get any pings. We can just create a deal. Yeah, here. Perfect. I guess it doesn't matter which one. It looks like we do. Custom realtor split. These are all custom fields here. So you can get those from the dates as well. The only caveat to this is you would need to put the dates in before you move the stage, right? Or in the same motion too, right? So if we're in here, you're doing this all manually, you don't have any other kind of like system or form system that's doing this for you, then you're coming in here and you would add these dates. So like first time appointment met was October 22nd. Oops. Sign date was October 24th. And then you would change the stage and then press done. And then that would trigger it just to make sure that the dates themselves are in the deal before it's actually triggered.
Josh, what about those brand new ones that were just added this week? Like they're not custom field dates. If you open back up the deal, those ones at the top, like those were just added. So I'm not even sure if those can be accessible through Zapier.
I'm sure that they are. Let me see. What was an example of one? Earnest money due.
Oh,
Earnest money. Yeah. So those do show up. As Club kind of, and you can talk to Alina or Shay Heron's another great one. We've helped her set up a system that she does all of her transactions, like in transaction management entirely within FUB, using deals and the custom fields and some of our like custom form systems that we've built for her. There's a lot of ways, and I think FUB is kind of steering into that right now of being able to actually manage transactions inside of their system instead of having to move it elsewhere.
yeah, for sure. I've been hogging all the questions. I answered Hannah's question in the chat, but did anyone want to ask in the chat or unmute before we have to go? We're past the time, so we can probably take one, maybe two questions. Going once, going twice. Okay, well, it was recorded, so we will, or Josh will make sure you're all emailed the recording, and his to do after this as well is to record a video for how to create a team calendar if you have a team of agents for this to work, as well as there was something else you're going to investigate. I already forgot, but you had two things you're going to record and show. But,
Yep, I got it.
okay, cool.
Do my
If you
homework.
didn't get it, your AI something got it.
Totally. And guys, feel free to reach out to me as well. I know that this was the bare bones, but if you have a specific use case, I would love to help you. There's just some very like dev heavy specific things that we might need to get into a little bit to make it happen. But I promise you, with AI, it's actually a lot easier even to make custom actions like that inside of Zapier. They have a lot of really cool tools that I'd love to show you. So shoot me an email, schedule a consult. We can talk about those things and getting your systems right.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hope to see you in a week from today.
Sounds good. See you at the lab.
Bye.
Bye, guys.